I read in your biography that you were actually raised on a godless hippie commune. I won't talk about that in the interview. Hello and welcome to Between Two Ficuses. I'm your host, Richard Metternach, and today my guest is Celeste Woloschuk from the STM Campus Ministry Team. Welcome, Celeste.
Thank you, Richard.
Very good to have you here.
Thank you. It's interesting being between two ficuses.
Well, adjacent to them, really.
Yes.
Yeah, we have to have 2 meters between us.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So let's begin by telling our viewers, what is your role at St. Thomas More College?
So I'm one of the campus ministers. We're a team of 3 people. There's myself, Michael, and Andre. And our job is kind of to look after the spiritual needs and lives of our students here at STM. So we provide opportunities for prayer. We also do things like spiritual direction. We're there to listen to students if they need to talk with us for a little while. Those kinds of things.
Great. How long have you been working here at the college?
I think I'm one of the newbies on staff. I've only been here just a little over a year, so it's a year and I think about 3 months at this point.
Excellent. Well, we should have had cake. We'll fix that in post. So before COVID, what was a typical day like for you?
Typical day involved coming to the college, getting things ready if we had prayer, different events. Sometimes we would do things like TED Talk time, or we would show a TED Talk, and so we'd be available for that. Otherwise, we would have Mass that would need to be prepared for. We'd be preparing prayers for different events, things like convocation awards, that kind of a thing. And we'd be around to meet with students. So I'd be in my office some of the time, I'd be in the chapel some of the time, or just kind of wandering the halls, looking around, seeing if anybody needed a campus minister. So yeah, most of the time I was here. I'd be here some evenings, some weekends, that kind of a thing. Excellent.
I've heard that there's a lot of candy and treats in campus ministry, but you didn't mention that. Care to elaborate?
Yeah, every now and again we just have candy. Sometimes we had ice cream. We would do little open house parties where there would just randomly be chocolate and things like that around. That was always a good thing. And then, of course, we always have communion at Mass, so come and have a little bit of the Lord into our bodies on a regular basis. So yeah, that was always a part of who we are. It's a great way to get people kind of involved. Be like, hey, we're doing this thing. Do you want to come? There'll be donuts. So yeah, it's always a nice way to kind of break the ice.
Excellent. So become Catholic, you can get the Lord in your heart, and you can get chocolate and donuts in your belly.
Exactly.
That's fantastic. So obviously, COVID has changed the way we're operating in the college.
For sure.
What's different for you in campus ministry?
Well, it's changed quite a lot. Our job is mostly interpersonal things, so meeting with people, chatting with them, finding out about your life, and kind of building that relationship kind of from there. A lot of things like our events were in person, prayer especially is something that we did a lot in person. And so now that we kind of can't be in person, we have to sort of find ways around that. So we're doing a lot of things virtually now. We have different liturgical events that we're live streaming where it's just sort of us, the team, who are leading, and we're looking at a camera and sort of imagining the people on the other side. So the relationship building part is a little bit more difficult this year just because it's harder to meet people when they aren't physically in front of you. But we are constantly reaching out, hoping that students will reach back when they're ready.
You seem nervous. Don't be nervous. You're doing great.
This is just who I am. I am a nervous, anxious human being, and I appreciate who I am in that way, and I will just be. And yeah.
Well, it's good that you respect the level of fame that comes with this show, where we'll have upwards of 30 viewers. All right. What's your favorite family tradition? Let's get to know Celeste the person. What's your favorite family tradition?
Ooh, that's a good one. Favorite family tradition, probably Christmas time. My family on my mom's side is French, so we would do what's called réveillon. So we would go to late Mass on Christmas Eve, and then we would, we usually do music at Mass just because we're musicians. That's who we are. That's what we do. And then afterward, we would stay up until the wee hours, talking, eating, opening presents, that kind of a thing, just spending time together and just being. So réveillon is definitely, I think, my favorite family tradition.
Excellent. Now I'd like to invite you to the bench for very important questions.
Ooh.
The first thing we'd like to do is show you this image, and we would like some context for you. We will show the viewers this image.
Yes, the magic of editing.
Can you explain what's going on here?
Maybe. So this happened, I think, my second year of university. I was a member of the Greystone Singers, which is a choral group here on campus. I went to university here, I should probably preface with that, for a couple of years. And so one year we went on tour to Europe. And so this is me, I believe this is when we were in Switzerland, enjoying a delicious pastry for breakfast. And yeah, it was full of strawberries. Like, you look at it and it was like, this is so cheap. Also, I haven't eaten today. Am I allowed to eat pastry like this for breakfast? It feels wrong. But we did it anyway. And so, yeah, that was that.
When in Switzerland,
Do
as the Swiss. Exactly.
Yep.
That's fantastic. Thank you very much. You can just close that up and set it beside you. I have another very important question for you while you're on the bench. Yeah, don't worry. That's Linda's. If you drop it, it's not my problem. So, you've obviously traveled.
A little bit.
Yeah. Imagine that you were stranded on a deserted island.
Okay.
What superpower would you want to have if it couldn't be flying or swimming?
This is going to sound weird. Screeching?
Yep.
Really
You're
loud.
right. That sounds weird.
So the idea being that, just kind of projecting some sort of sonic superpower, I don't know, so that I could have people hear me and be like, hey, who's that? Maybe I should go get them.
You're not concerned that they'd be like, oh, it sounds like Godzilla's on that island. We should probably bomb the heck out of it.
That's never stopped people from, going and trying to find it out before. How many Godzilla movies have people been like, oh, there's this island with all of this stuff. Maybe we should go and see what it's about, instead of bombing the crap out of it first.
Good point. If you hear screeching, always run towards it. Okay, come on back. Thank you very much, Celeste. Come on back to our very comfortable chairs.
Oh, yeah.
So let's get back to work a little bit. Do you have any interesting or new projects on the go now?
Yeah, so one thing that we've started up this year that is brand new, and it's been something that I have had to do a lot of learning for, is our new self-care video series. So that comes out every Thursday about 4 o'clock. It's on YouTube. And we're kind of just looking into what is self-care and just trying to make sure that we're doing the best that we can to look after ourselves and making sure that people are looking after themselves as well. So last week we talked about kind of the basics of self-care. This week we're looking into deep breathing and how that is a good thing.
Oh, well, maybe we should practice that for a minute here. I'm sure it'll make excellent footage. Let's try breathing. Oh, no, wait, I did it wrong. I went in, then out. It's in, out, right?
Whatever you want.
I'll try that again. I feel better already.
Yeah, and the louder the better with deep breathing.
That's information I needed before.
You were fine.
Yeah, okay. So, what's your favorite thing about your career at STM?
My favorite thing, probably all of the opportunities to pray with people and to be with people in a prayerful atmosphere. Prayer is something that is so important. It's been important, an important part of my life, basically all my life, and just getting to experience that with people and to really enter into that moment with people, to really see where they're at and to listen to how God is calling me to be in relationship with people, but also just to see how God is calling different people in their lives to live their lives. It's just a beautiful, beautiful part of my job, and it kind of is, I think it's just amazing that I actually get paid for that kind of stuff, just to be with people and to journey with people in that way.
Oh, that sounds great. So, one final question for you.
Okay.
Which is better, science or religion? And be careful, your boss is listening.
Well, it's interesting that you see those as mutually exclusive because they aren't. They're very much compatible, and I think that they can teach each other a lot of different things. I don't think one is better than the other, but they definitely teach one and the other a lot of important things. Science is important just as faith is important.
Excellent. I love it. You've been Between Two Ficuses. I'm your host, Richard Metternach, and our guest today, Celeste Woloschuk from STM Campus Ministry. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, Richard.
I thought for sure you were just going to say religion.
Why? No, I'm not going to say that science isn't as good as religion. They both have a place.
I'll edit it. It'll look like you said science isn't as good as religion. That's perfect.
No. Besides, arguably, the whole reason that, science and reason has been kind of elevated above things kind of came from religion. It came from sort of that Christian intellectual tradition.
Monks.
Yeah.